A Godly Romance. Part 2. A Godly Struggle. Because of a male's failure in not trusting God, he has to suffer. Much like Abram did. God made Abram circumcise himself. But take notice, God made Abram circumcise every male. It's the same with us. When we sin, we cause everyone after us to suffer as well. Matthew has to emotionally suffer for a few days, then he can't take it anymore. Now here. Bad boys, players wouldn't bother. Which is best for her in my opinion. Nice guys, simps would be too tormented by it. But a godly man when led by God will go to her place. Matthew knows he fucked up. This is where he meets Kelly. Kelly plays an interesting role in this synopsis. He's the antagonist. Now Satan is an obedient servant of God. Yes, Satan is our enemy, one which we must always contend with, because we won't obey God fully, yet, the devil still obeys God in everything. The biblical book of Job confirms that. Matthew still has some weakness in him. He boastfully lies that he's going with Danielle. Here's where Matthew tries to prove himself to Danielle. He chooses to go out with them. Males make this mistake frequently, and yes, even godly males. We've been controlled for so long by religious dogmatic commandments, that we depend upon ourselves instead of trusting God. Note. Religion has condemned sex outside of the unbiblical legalistic constraints of marriage as a sin for ages. Yet careful study of Scripture confirms that sex is a commandment of God, and as for the before legal marriage deception, God is the one that ordained marriage. When you choose to remain together and consummate your union, then according to God, you're married. Matthew decides to get a smoke from Kelly and you see Danielle becomes irate with his decision. Because when us males refuses to follow God fully, we are prone to allow the devil to tempt us, to tempt others too. Now the act of smoking itself isn't sinful, it's the condition of your heart. James 4:17. When you choose to not do the proper thing, then for you, it's sin. Romans 14:13. So let's stop condemning each other. Decide instead to live in such a way that you will not cause another believer to stumble and fall. Matthew caused Danielle to stumble, she decided to go back with Kelly. Matthew 18:6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. It was her stumbling that caused Matthew to grow stronger though. He decided to fight for her honor. John 8:7. And as they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her. Matthew knew that the only reason she was there was because of his failures. Sometimes, our obedience is a sacrifice. Psalm 23:4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff they comfort me. Her reluctance was noticeable when she left, but now Matthew can see it prevalently. Because of her brokenness, she tells him to leave, but even though he has life to live, it's his fault she's there. Matthew 5:30. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body go into hell. This is where Matthew steps out in faith. He hands her the drawing that she drew the first time they went out. Romans 4:16. Therefore it is of faith, that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but to that also which is of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. As I mentioned, Danielle forced Matthew to grow stronger. Now however, he has to have some patience. James 1:3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith works patience. God could have translated her there instantly, which God has been known to do, but God also shows us when we have grown. Luke 21:19. In your patience, you possess your souls. A man of God will grow stronger, when the Lord forces him to. Colossians 1:11. Strengthened with all might, according to his glorious power, unto all patience and long suffering with joyfulness. Danielle's brokenness forced Matthew to grow stronger. He was man enough to ask her to go to the prom with him. Of course, like God always does, he sends the devil around to us. Kelly tells Matthew that he ruined his plans. Satan then proceeds to test our resolve. Kelly told Matthew to suck his dick. He then physically attacked Matthew. 2 Corinthians 4:17. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long. Yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them, and will last forever. Honestly, I know there's a spiritual connection to Kelly giving Matthew that ecstasy pill. But damned if I know. 'Cause I'm still growing. 1 John 3:2. Dear friends, we are already God's children, but He has not yet shown us what we will be like when Christ appears. But we do know that we will be like Him, for we will see Him as He really is. Kelly says something deep.
You want me out of Danielle's life?
Yes, I do.
Then let's go.
But wait, seriously.
Sometimes in life, if you want to do something good, you gotta do something bad.
This is an advanced teaching for a few godly men. In essence, it's referring to disobeying God as king to obey God as father. This is an advanced lesson, one that only a true godly man will accept. Jesus Christ did it. John chapter 2 verses 3 through 5. When the wine ran out, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no wine left." Jesus replied, "Woman, why are you saying this to me? My time has not yet come." His mother told the servants, "Whatever he tells you, do it." After Kelly gets Matthew into the house, he leaves. This is how the devil works. We're still in the advanced lesson phase. The cops come, but Matthew is able to evade them. Like I said, if God chooses to use you, you'll know.